Hello everyone and welcome to my 8th Digimon Tamers retrospective video. This time we're watching the 8th episode of Digimon Tamers, Guilmon Evolves, Showdown in West Shinjinku. So this is the last episode of the ones that I binge watched when I was considering starting this retrospective series. So that means I can finally start to watch Tamers again because I realised, oh no, I'm just watching Tamers and writing notes and not actually talking about them. So now I can continue watching them, so that's good news. So for the synopsis, Takato is brainstorming Guilmon's adult form, and this is sort of growing on from something that happened a few episodes ago when Takato started designing it and started thinking about it. And we see that a Digimon called Impmon is creating havoc by pulling pranks on humans. At Takato's school, Takato's class learns about these pranks, and Takato is worried that it may be Guilmon because it's happening in the same park where Guilmon's living. That night, Impmon sort of meets Guilmon and lets him out of the cage, or the sort of hidey hole, and starts pulling pranks because he says that they're fun. However, Guilmon leaves and then Takato finds him and believes that this is proof that Guilmon is the one that's causing the pranks, so he gets really mad at him, yells at him, and he doesn't believe Guilmon when Guilmon says that it wasn't him. A digital field then appears and it's Digimon, and Impmon kind of taunts him and then accidentally frees him from the digital field by kind of cutting it open with his claw. And then we have Ruki seeing Digimon and wants to fight, but Renamon says that this is Guilmon's battle, so that they can't fight it. Guilmon fights, but he's not strong enough. Meanwhile, Terriermon finds Impmon and realises that Impmon is the one that was pulling pranks. He tells Takato that it was Impmon all along. Takato has his trust in Guilmon restored, and he apologises. And then this allows Guilmon to evolve to Guilmon and defeats and loads Digimon's data. So, for thoughts of this episode, this evolution was kind of a powerful moment. We had the restoration of the trust between Takato and Guilmon, as well as the moment mid-evolution where Takato names him, which feels pretty cool. Like, the whole episode is kind of brainstorming names for Guilmon, and then mid-evolution, before Guilmon calls out his name, it would just cut to Takato's face and he's grinning and he says Guilmon, and it's actually really sweet. It's nice when they do these sort of mid-evolution cut-ins. It's a fairly unique evolution in that way. And it's also interesting to note that Takato uses multiple card slashes in this episode, but he still doesn't get his card slash animation like we've seen from the other children. So again, it's still him learning about becoming a Digimon tamer. Like, he's not completely wonderful at it, like some other Gogol kids are. He's just kind of still learning, and that's kind of nice. Also, none of the card slashes seem to do anything particularly useful or impressive, which again gives me the impression that Takato's still learning. And it's just nice to see the main character actually struggling at being the main character. Like, he's not by far the strongest at all. Like, Ruki and Lee have both been with their Digimon longer. They can do card slashes that actually do something. The episode also marks the first time that Guilmon himself actually destroys an enemy, which he also actually absorbs, which we sort of already saw that Takato didn't like. Takato doesn't like Digimon loading Digimon. He says it seems cruel, and Lee doesn't like it, and Ruki and Renamon just do it every battle. And this is an idea that the series plays with how animalistic Digimon seem to be, particularly Guilmon. Like, whenever he seems to appear not to want to fight, but whenever he starts to fight, his like eyes change and he gets all like aggressive. It's like when a dog is in attack mode. He gets very animalistic and very instinctive and wants to actually fight, and something does seem to take over him. And the similar thing happens where we have the data of Digimon being loaded. Like, that also seems like an instinct. So it kind of plays with that instinct, animalistic nature of Digimon, that they are kind of wild. And it's just an interesting concept that we have Guilmon, who is basically just a monster, but Guilmon doesn't really seem to want to fight, but whenever he does get into a fight, he gets really into it. The episode also gives us more about the character of Impmon. He hasn't done anything super evil. He's just given the viewer a sense of him being a character who is not really up to good, and seems to really not like humans, especially humans that are partnered with Digimon. So we get sort of like a bit of an introduction into Impmon as a character, where previously we've just seen him kind of floating around in the same way that Guilmon's floating around. So, in terms of my rating for this episode, I'm going to have to give it a 3.5. It deserves higher than that. But so did the Renamon episode. So it's kind of like a higher 3.5, if that makes sense. Like, I really like this episode. I really like the Renamon Evolution episode. But I just know that both those episodes will do better. Actually, having said that, I think I might change this episode to a 3.75 and also the Cubimon debut into a 3.75. So they are a little bit better, but I also don't want to give away high marks so early at the start because I know that some episodes do get pretty good, and that's why I've given mainly 3s, because I know that episodes get worse and I know episodes get better, so a 3 is like my common ground for it. But anyway, so thanks for watching this episode. Let me know what you thought about episode 8, and I will see you on the next one. Bye!